The Philippines, a beautiful archipelago known for its stunning beaches, rich culture, and warm-hearted people. But beneath the idyllic landscape and vibrant cities lies a harsh reality. Millions of Filipinos are struggling with poverty, grappling with low salaries, rising costs of living, and a social system that's often unequal. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the true state of poverty in the Philippines, why salaries are so low compared to the cost of living, how the people get by, and the factors that make the Filipino people so resilient in the face of adversity. We'll also look at how foreign expats are affecting the situation, and explore the differences between life in the north, Manila, and the south, Cebu City. Manila, the bustling capital of the Philippines, where skyscrapers rise alongside informal settlements, and the rush of the city never seems to slow down. Metro Manila is home to around 13 million people, and while it's a hub of economic activity, the gap between the rich and the poor has never been more apparent. The average cost of living in Manila continues to rise, yet salaries remain painfully low. For example, the minimum wage in Metro Manila is around 570 pesos a day, or about $10. This may seem like a modest income, but when you factor in the cost of food, rent, and transportation in one of the country's most expensive areas, it's clear that many are struggling just to survive. Inflation has outpaced wage growth, meaning everyday essentials like rice, vegetables, and meat are becoming harder to afford. Public transportation, already known for its overcrowding and unreliability, has only become more expensive, putting additional strain on families. For many, even basic services like electricity and water can be a financial burden, particularly in informal settlements where many people live without access to reliable infrastructure. Now, let's head south to Cebu City, the Queen City of the South. While Cebu is the second largest metropolitan area in the Philippines, it offers a very different pace of life compared to the northern capital. With a population of about 3 million, Cebu City is known for its laid-back vibe, beautiful beaches, and historical sites. The economy here has been growing steadily, fueled by tourism, real estate, and an expanding IT/BPM industry. But despite the growing economy, Cebu faces many of the same challenges that Manila does when it comes to poverty and the high cost of living. The difference is in the scale. While costs are lower than Manila's, Cebu has its own struggles with affordability, particularly as more high-income expats and middle-class Filipinos flock to the city, driving up property prices. In Cebu, salaries are slightly lower on average than in Manila, but so are the living costs. The minimum wage here hovers around 400 to 500 pesos a day, or about $8 to $9. However, in places like Cebu City, the rise in rental prices, particularly in new developments and condominium buildings, is outpacing wage growth. Locals who've lived here for years are now being pushed out to the outskirts of the city, as new developments cater to expats, tourists, and wealthier Filipinos. In both Manila and Cebu, families are finding creative ways to get by. Whether it's selling goods in the market, taking up multiple jobs, or relying on extended family for support, survival often depends on the strength of the community. In both cities, people rely on their network of neighbors, relatives, and friends to make ends meet. It's not uncommon for families to live together in tight quarters, pooling their resources to cover rent, utilities, and other necessities. In both the North and the South, a new generation of Filipinos is finding ways to adapt and innovate. In Cebu, there's a growing startup culture, tech hubs, co-working spaces, and small businesses are emerging as alternatives to traditional employment. Meanwhile, in Manila, the digital economy is booming, with more and more people working remotely or entering freelance professions. While opportunities for entrepreneurial ventures are growing in both regions, they still require capital, skills, and access to markets, making it difficult for many living below the poverty line to break out of the cycle. The rise of foreign expats in both Manila and Cebu has brought investment and job opportunities, but it's also caused a shift in the local economy. Expats, especially in Cebu City, are often drawn to the laid-back atmosphere, beautiful surroundings, and affordable living compared to cities like Singapore or Hong Kong. But as they move in, demand for high-end housing, luxury goods, and upscale services increases. This drives up prices and makes life even harder for locals who are already struggling with wages that don't match the rising cost of living. In both Manila and Cebu, it's not uncommon for rental prices to soar in areas popular with expats, leaving less affordable options for regular Filipinos. Despite these challenges, the Filipino spirit remains unbroken. Whether in the north or south, Filipinos share a unique resilience. Known for their bayanihan spirit, an ethos of community and mutual aid, they face hardships with humor, optimism, and a deep sense of family and solidarity. In both Manila and Cebu, it's this spirit that keeps people going. The ability to find joy even in the smallest of things, to share what little you have with others, and to always keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. This is what defines the Filipino way of life. It's their resilience that allows them to persevere, even when the odds are stacked against them. So what does the future hold for the Philippines? The government, businesses, and communities will need to work together to ensure that as the economy grows, it benefits everyone, especially those who are still struggling to keep up with the cost of living. Whether you're in the fast-paced streets of Manila or the laid-back neighborhoods of Cebu, one thing is clear: the Filipino people are a force to be reckoned with. Their resilience and resourcefulness are the bedrock on which the future of the Philippines will be built. The Philippines is a country of great beauty, resilience, and hope. But for the millions who are still struggling, the path forward remains uncertain. Let us not forget the true cost of living in this beautiful nation and the people who make it all possible. Title: The Philippines, a Nation of Resilience. On-screen text. End credits. Soft music fades in, credits roll.